My name is Patrick Hoelscher, and I'd like to just take a brief 5 minutes to tell you about the business I co-founded, which is a new, different type of production company. But firstly, I'd like to ask you, what is a business, if not an answer to a question? And the burning question on my mind was, how can I keep doing the things I love, the things I feel are important and give me meaning? And for me, that thing is to share stories. And for the last few years, I felt compelled to explore stories focused on the growing climate crisis and the many connected environmental challenges we're all facing, as the climate is set to become a defining part in everyone's story. Stories like Karina's. Karina is a climate activist from Leicester in the UK. One day she joined some friends to attend a protest, but quickly discovered that she had a passion for climate activism and ended up becoming a coordinator in the British student climate strike movement. Karina is everything the media tend to forget or overlook. She's working class, Indian, and a girl with learning difficulties. Her family in India is affected by this. So for her, the climate crisis is deeply personal. Meet Jeremy. He grew frustrated with his job in local government as he felt the authorities were failing to communicate climate change to the community, in particular to children and young people. So Jeremy studied a course in climate science and found like-minded people with whom he created the world's first climate change-focused comic book. And while they managed to find a publisher, they offered little in the way of publicity for what is still a first of its kind. And finally, meet Ines. She's an artist who collaborated with scientists from King's College London to build an installation that is able to create past and future weather scenarios to experience firsthand. Ines and the team want more people to visit the installation. However, in order to make the installation travel and go to places, including the upcoming climate change conference in Glasgow, they need to raise more funds and get the word out. So this takes me back to the how. How can I keep making films about these amazing and important stories and help produce the dozens and dozens just like it from around the world? But documentary film funds are scarce and governmental and other financing streams are constantly getting cut. I wanted to create and share stories in a self-sustaining way. I've worked in the film and media industry for over 9 years, and I knew this could be done. Specifically, I produced videos in and around economics for years, but ironically saw the majority of the value created extracted rather than reinvested. The how became a lot clearer when I met Max. Max is a scientist who's worked on research around climate change for universities, think tanks, charities, and broadcasters. He's convinced communication is key in tackling this crisis, and he's eager to explore the use of moving images to connect people with stories that matter. I knew together we had a unique proposal for organizations. Work with experts from the field of video communication and climate science on any project that addresses in any way the environmental challenges we're all facing. And by doing that, the organization and everyone in it also makes it possible so that more stories, like those stories from Karina, Jeremy, and Ines, can be told. It was then still a daring proposal, and it was, after all, we're just a couple of guys with an idea. And I think what's needed in that kind of situation more than anything is a woman who can make sure stuff happens. Meet Rachel. Rachel is an experienced digital content producer who's worked on a broad range of campaigns for clients ranging from startups to governmental departments. She knows exactly how important video has become to corporate communications, how much more potential there still is, and how to convince organizations to focus on creative storytelling to achieve their goals. Ultimately, Rachel, Max, and I came together to found In Our Nature, or ION for short, as a new, different type of production company, in that it is a network of like-minded individuals and experts across communication and climate science. But we're also, importantly, a not-for-profit business, since all our profits are reinvested in producing films in and around the climate crisis. And we don't just talk the talk, we also practice what we preach. Our mantra is big impact with a small footprint, which means we're constantly seeking to innovate our own processes and work towards being a carbon neutral and ultimately net zero company. Practically, that means our office is powered by renewable energy, our transport is always electric where possible, our meals are plant-based, and single-use plastic is banned from our sets. We're always working with a number of certification bodies to make sure we're on the right track, specifically the Green Film Fund. This way, we can ensure to be a carbon-free asset in your value chain. We're currently working with a major higher education institution in the UK on their communication, but we'd be very interested to hear from you next, whether you're a nature-based charity, an NGO, a research institute, or commercial business with an innovative product or service focused on sustainability. We're seeking to work with any organization that is looking to communicate environmental messages or produce video in a sustainable way. And the data that underpins our proposition is clear. On the one hand, video is the most popular online content type across the board and still growing in popularity, as visitors are 2.5 times more likely to spend longer on any website with video content. And on the other hand, 88% of consumers want brands to help them live more ethical and sustainable lifestyles, while 83% of millennial and Gen Z job seekers say they're far more likely to join a company that helps them contribute to social and environmental causes. How is your organization telling its clients or users that you're aware of their demands and working towards this goal? And how is your organization going to reassure its most valuable asset, its workforce, that it is meeting that challenge? That is where we as In Our Nature see our place and purpose, to create compelling, sustainable communications for organizations and to produce inspiring films that tell the most important stories in our great shared struggle with the climate crisis. Finally, in the chat, I'll be sharing a link to my feedback form for this presentation. And if you're interested, I would highly appreciate your contact details, as well as any questions, comments, or recommendations. In particular, we're interested in being connected with communications and commissioning officers to sustainability leads, as well as head of environmental departments. Thank you for your time.